We like a sense of belonging. Whether it's friend groups, a sports team, or simply getting into college, we get a lot of satisfaction being part of groups that share similar interests, values, and overall purpose. It's why you get a sense of pride when you see your company on TV, or when your country scores a goal in the World Cup. And in fighting games, this is no different. While we may have differences in background, characters we play, or even games we like, we're all part of the same group, and that's the fighting game community. But that alone isn't enough for a tight, coherent community, as simply enjoying fighting games doesn't necessarily make you part of the FGC. And in light of the events that began surfacing publicly in the summer of July 2020, it seems like it's time for some core values to be set in stone. I'm Not Bae with Love of the Fight, and I want to talk about the importance of setting core values within the FGC. The FGC has one of the most illustrious histories in all of gaming. From the Daigo Parry to the infamous Game 4 MKLeo, there are a countless number of legends and stories that were created, but almost all of these legends come from what the FGC prided itself on. First was how we started. Unlike Fortnite, Call of Duty, or even League of Legends, the FGC started as a grassroots community that was started by fans of the game rather than the game's developers. There wasn't any huge prize pot or fame from winning, people just loved the game and kept playing. This alone was enough to create a tight-knit group of people. What once started as a group of friends playing in their basement every Saturday has blossomed into packed arenas and sponsorships. Second is open tournaments. Arguably the one aspect we, the FGC, always have prided ourselves on. If you want to get into a competitive scene for fighting games, just sign up for a tournament. Even major tournaments like EVO and the Big House are open, meaning any new player has a chance to go up against one of the best players in the world. And lastly are the stories. Fighting games have always been player versus player matchups, one-on-one. Something that is somewhat rare in most other esports or even professional sports. And not only does this create bigger and more memorable rivalries, there's always a story behind every matchup. Maybe the greatest of all time is back trying to defend his title, or you have an underdog using an unpopular character, pushing them to their absolute limits. These stories have flourished into some of the greatest moments in esports history, and this was all made possible due to the hard work and dedication of the fighting game community. On that same note, it's pretty clear that some standards need to be set. Just because you like Soul Calibur or win a local Street Fighter tournament doesn't automatically make you accepted within the FGC. Whether people like it or not, we're not the same ragtag group of gamers from years past. We're a legitimate esport now and have to handle ourselves as such, and there's a criteria of traits that everyone part of the FGC should exhibit. First up is all accepting. The FGC has always been praised for their diversity and acceptance, and this is something that needs to be upheld. Just like how musicians play music to escape the craziness of the real world, a lot of people play fighting games to escape discrimination, bullying, and blatant sexism. And it's our duty to keep this as a safe sanctuary for everyone that deserves to be here. Number 2, integrity. As competitors and fans, we value those who are not only honest, but have rose through the top through hard work. It's the same reason why most people love Stephen Curry, and don't care for others who are famous just because they're famous. But whether you're known in the FGC or not, it's important to not put anyone on a pedestal for any rhyme or reason. It's fine to look up to players as inspiration, but idolizing them just because they're a top player is unhealthy. And top players that understand this are generally the most well-respected amongst their communities anyway. Last but certainly not least, is simply being an upstanding citizen within the FGC. While this sounds like common sense, it still needs to be said. Being part of the FGC assumes you are a contributing member to this community and understands what is generally right and wrong. Quite frankly, we don't care how well you place at EVO if you aren't a good person. Just because our tournaments are open to everyone doesn't imply our community is as well. The FGC is a special place, and you must earn the right to be part of it. Overall, it's been a wild year in the FGC, and a lot of things need to be done. But that shouldn't be seen as a negative, as we have an amazing opportunity to change for the better. We're more than just a ragtag group of gamers. We've grown beyond playing for bragging rights and money. We've continued to grow, and these changes are our next steps towards reaching that next level. And in a couple years, who knows? Maybe we'll have more sponsors for the best, crazier stories to tell, and a better community all around. Making progress isn't something one person can do alone, and I'm always interested in what efforts there are out there to unite and protect us at the same time. If you're aware or affiliated with groups trying to make positive changes, let us know in the comments so we can all become better equipped to handle our promising future as a community. This was Not Bae from Love of the Fight, and thank you for watching.